Welcome to the MBH Show. I'm Matthew, and this is my show. Today we are going to make Chili Verde. So the recipe is kind of my own. So I'm going to kind of wing it. I'm going to go through the best I can of what I'm going to do. So I've previously chopped up, I think 10 pounds of the Costco. If you go to Costco, they have the big, huge shoulders or pork butt. Same thing. Shoulder and pork butt are the same thing. One thing I like about Costco meats is that they do taste fresh. They're usually tender and the quality is great. However, they're not grass-fed, range, pasture raised, or grass-fed, grass-finished, or organic. So every once in a while you can find something like that, but usually the porks and the beefs and the, even USDA primes and choice, they're usually not grass-fed, grass-finished. And they do needle tenderizing, where they tenderize it with a bunch of needles, and so you should cook it thoroughly. We're not going to have a problem with that today, because today we did pork shoulder. 10 pounds, big huge thing of it. Just grab one, don't overthink it. I mean, don't get the biggest one, but don't get the smallest one. It's vacuum sealed and it's usually really good. So I cubed that up into anywhere from 1 to 2.5 inch cubes, as you see, and as you can see over here. So it really does have some good marbling, and this is going to be good. So the next thing you need to do is what I'm going to do is salt and pepper it. So I have some salt, fine grained salt, Himalayan pink salt. I also have Celtic or Celtic sea salt as well. Either one will do. I wouldn't use table salt. I would use a high quality salt. I happen to have pink Himalayan by the San Francisco Salt Company. Fine grain. So that's what I'm going to use. The pepper, I put in a little grinder. I grind it myself, and then I put it in a shaker. So I have 2 shakers right here. One is salt and one is pepper. So I'm going to do it in small batches. So I have another bowl that I'm going to take from the big bowl, salt and pepper it. I'm going to heat up the cast iron skillet. It's a 12-inch Loge. You can find it at Home Depot may have it, I don't know. Costco, Amazon, Walmart. It's just a regular one. You can find them cheaper. I think I did find one at Costco, but it wasn't the big one. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter what size. You're probably not going to make as much as I'm making, because Happy New Year. Yes, it is a Happy New Year, 2024. And this is for actually a college bowl game party that I'm going to on New Year's Day. It is the 31st today. Tomorrow is New Year. So I'm making it now, so I don't have to spend time waking up early in the morning doing it. So it has to simmer quite a while, so that's what I'm going to do. A little bit of avocado oil in the cast iron skillet, get it really hot. We're going to brown these things, just caramelize the crap out of every side that we can. It's going to get smoky, it's going to sizzle, and it's going to be great. So big bowl, little bowl, salt and pepper, skillet, and then I'm dumping it straight in. So I'm doing it in sections, and it's going to go straight into the pot that I just bought, washed, and unwrapped on another video. So I'm going to go over what I think of it in another video. Along with the cutting board, as you can see, the meat is sitting on the cutting board. And let's get started. I'm going to start the burner. I'm going to start salt and peppering, and I'm going to get started. Let's go. And you can't use, I mean, you can over season, but generally, I mean, I always think, God, I'm putting so much salt on. And the reality is, it's really, I don't know, I have over salted stuff, so I'm not gonna say I never have. But for the most part, my God, it just seems to be, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. And okay, I think that should do good for the first one. Yes, that's a lot. Yes, I agree. But you can't season it again. I mean, you can season it while it's simmering, but it's best to just, I think it's just best to get it on when you, right before you do it, or even before you do it. And I do a lot of steaks, and every time I do it, I think I'm putting too much seasoning on it, and rarely is it. There's nothing worse, you know, almost like over seasoning is better than under seasoning, in my opinion. Both are bad, but if I had to pick one. Okay, that is looking good. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go get one of my, not these gloves, the other gloves, so I can pick up a hot pan. Okay, you can see that this is getting really hot here. So that's why I used olive oil. Olive oil holds up better. So now I'm just gonna take this and start putting it in there. You don't want to overcrowd it, but get as many as you can on before you overcrowd it. How about that? How about that? Okay, this is actually, this heated up. I have it on low. So this is a Tundra 16 3-burner. I bought a big tank for it, not the regular size for barbecue, but this is a bigger tank. And even on low with the cast iron, it heats the snot out of it. So low to medium is all that I need for this. I used avocado oil because, as I stated before, because it is, it can withstand higher heat from what I understand. If I'm wrong, let me know, but that's the way I'm going with it. Okay, look at that. Look at that. That's what you want. You want to get as many sides as you can. Completely, oh yeah. So I'm probably going to fast forward onto some of this, but you get the idea on what I'm doing. I'm going to do it in batches, salt and pepper, put it on the cast iron, brown them really super good, dump them in the pot, and then we'll go to the next step. Once everything's in the pot, we will continue with what I'm doing. And it's going to consist of filling water up to the top, just above all the meat, putting a cup of white vinegar and a cup of apple cider vinegar, and ooh, I gotta turn these, and then we'll continue. So you get the idea? Let's continue. So as they are done, I'm just putting them in the big pot, as you can see. So actually I found a trick that I like, is I like to do the side of the bowl and then pull the meat towards me, and then it gets the bottom, and so it's easier when I turn it over, it gets the bottom, it gets kind of everything that I need. So as you can see, with a big batch, this is a long process because we still got a lot. We got to simmer this while that's simmering. It's not simmering yet, but you're going to see it simmer once I get done with all this. I'm about halfway done. And then we're going to cut. I could do this on the grill, but I'm not going to do it on the grill. I'm going to do it in the oven because I'm going to use a big dish, do the tomatillos, cut them in half, lay them down, put them in the oven, get them all good and bubbling, and then I'm going to put them in a big bowl, this big bowl, and then I'm going to blend all the stuff together. I'm going to do that with the de-seed, take off the skins, roast all the peppers. I'll go over what I'm doing when I do it, but right now I'm going to continue doing this. Just enough pepper. I may have to open this up though. There's still bigger chunks than the holes will allow. Okay, so if we're finally done with that step, it took a long time, but it's well worth browning it before. It just brings out all the good flavors, caramelizes it, and it makes it taste the way it should. As far as the salt and peppering, I know I'm very vague on that. Just do what you think. I do a liberal, I'm very liberal with the salt and pepper, and I've never had a problem with it. You saw how much I did per bowl, so you know, you can gauge it yourself. I can't even guess how much I put in. All I did was fill it up, and then I just sprinkled it until I felt it was enough. So not very good, but you really can't go wrong with this recipe. It's pretty simple, and you make it what you want. If you don't want it spicy, you do want it spicy, you can doctor it up however you want, but it's not complicated to do. It just takes a long time because you want the layers of flavors, and my God, are there layers of flavors when you do it right. And this is one step: salt, pepper, brown it, and then put it in the pot. We're gonna simmer it. Let's go to the next step. I gotta get prepped. I gotta get some water and vinegar, and I'll be right back. Okay, so all prepared, doing the apple cider vinegar, 1 cup. Gonna do that first. Then some distilled white vinegar, 1 cup. Gonna do that second. And then we'll cover it with filtered water. So, I know, I hear you. I got some birds watching me. And so those are the next steps. Cover it just to the top. So apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, and then cover it just to the top. And then we're gonna simmer that while we're gonna reduce that down, simmer down, and then we're gonna cut go to the next step, step 3. It may seem like a lot, but it seems to work just fine with the amount that I'm doing. 1 cup of that, and of course I shook it before. Add that to the pot. Okay, now top it off with the water. So just to let you know, that was a gallon of filtered water. So how I know that is because it says a gallon on it, and that's what it was filled to. So now I have long wooden utensils. I tend to like the wooden. I like stainless steel too, but it just, you never know how things are made. Wood, you can almost not go wrong with. Of course, everything I washed very well before. So that is, probably need to put some mineral oil on these and the board, cutting board, teak cutting board, the one that I'm doing another video for. Yes, please like, subscribe, comment, share, and yes, this is all over the place, but that's what you get because it's my show. I can do that. So we're gonna use these, turn the burner on, stir it, lid on, go to step 3. I will leave the lid off for quite some time. I'm going to put it on right now just to get it heated up so it's boiling. Okay, so now we're set to do the next part. I'm going to put 8 to 10 to 12, probably 10 bay leaves in the simmering sauce right now. That's going to be the next step. Okay, just doing that alone with the vinegar and the salt and pepper and pork, it smells good already, and we're not even nowhere near being done. So the next thing I'm going to start with is the tomatillos. I'm going to cut them in half and I'm going to put them in like a casserole dish with a thin layer of avocado oil on it. And the reason why is because I want the juices. So I don't want it to be up on a rack to where it's harder to get the juices and make a big mess that way. I'm just going to do all the tomatillos in, if they'll fit, hopefully, we'll see. So I can get all the juices and I'll pour that in the bowl. Okay, let's do it. We probably need to rehone it because I used it a bit. So far the cutting board is a cutting board. And of course these are all washed. I picked some of these up at the local Mexican restaurant, not restaurant, the local Mexican market. So when these come out of the oven, I'm going to dump them into a big bowl. And then I'm going to do the peppers. I'll start these off first, and then I'm going to do 2 layers of peppers. Actually, I'm seeing that I might need another one of these. I don't like that one. So I will be right back once I cut all these. Okay, I'm going to put the 13 by 9, I think it is, in the oven, come back with a 9 by 9, I think, and then put the rest in the oven. So that's what I'm going to do. Thin layer of avocado oil. So again, I'm doing a gigantic batch because I may not have enough to do in here either. Let me stack these ones. Let's see what happens. I'm now going to do the poblanos. And I'm going to put the poblanos on a rack. I'm going to cut them in half, de-seed them, and that's going to be the next one I do. So you ask, how many poblanos? Well, we can count them. I'm just doing this, I'm winging this. That's how easy this is. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 poblanos. I can't speak, but I know what I mean. So 14 poblano peppers, that's a lot. Okay, so I have a rack ready. Well, not ready, it's sitting on the board as you can see. And I'm going to put some avocado oil on the grate. And then I'm gonna lay these flat so that the skin is up. I used one less because it looked funky, and I thought funky wouldn't be what I was looking for. So I decided to say no on the funky. If there's room on this, I'm gonna do some jalapenos on this one. And there will be room, so I'm gonna go get some jalapenos to put on this. Probably fit a couple jalapenos on that, so let me go get those. Okay, so these are serranos, so I'm gonna do 2 serranos, which are much spicier than jalapenos. Deseed those as well. And I did buy some habaneros, so if you're in the market for super spice, habaneros would do it for you. But we are trying not to make this overly spicy. So what we're going to do is we'll blend all these together. So the seeds hold the heat, so get the seeds out. A couple won't kill you, but it will create more heat. Well, I mean, unless you have a condition where it will, please. User discretion. So next year in the garden, we like to grow our own veggies, and I decided I'm going to grow Anaheim chilies and tomatillos as part of what we will grow, so we will be able to make this on a regular basis. I'm not showing you very well, am I? And then I'm picking it. Pick it. Okay, so I'm going to check on the tomatillos. They should be about done, at which time I'm going to then put the poblanos in to the oven for 20 minutes to 25 minutes or so. I'll keep an eye on it, and then wash and de-seed the hatch chilies, which I think we're almost done with all our chilies. I do need to do garlic, and I also need to do a white onion. Why white? I don't know. I have reds too, but I decided it was going to be a white one. So one of the dishes was done, or pretty close, so I took it out, let the bigger dish do its thing, in which I'm going to pour the smaller one into a bowl, and then go get the bigger one and do the same thing. Okay, so the other tomatillos are out, and we are going to put them in the bowl. Okay, so I am starting to lose light here, so that's it. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna do the rest of the stuff. I'll turn the light on, but it's really not gonna look that good. Maybe I'll get an external light out here while I'm doing it. Still have a lot to go. I'm roasting the poblano. Still need to clean, de-seed, and do the hatch chilies and roast them. And I'm gonna go pick some limes right now. Still a lot to do. Okay, so I've taken the lid off and turned the heat up a little bit so that because I need the reduction of the sauce that's with the pork right now. So I still have plenty of time. There's still plenty of liquid in there, but it'll soften the meat. You can overcook pork, so don't I don't have any advice for that. Don't cook it way too long. Slow and low and low and slow is way better. But in this case, I have to I'm running out of time. So that's just me. The slower you go, the better it's going to be. But I have the poblanos in the oven, working on the hatch, cut the limes, and we're moving along. Okay, so the first batch of poblano peppers are out. I'm going to de-skin them and put them in the bowl, then go grab the other ones, and then I'm going to put the hatch chilies on the rack as well. Put them in the oven, let them do their thing. So for me, if I can't get the skin off, you know what I do? I use the skin. I don't care. Again, best effort, and it turns out great. So I suggest you take as much as you can off, but I certainly wouldn't worry too much about it. Yep, like these, I'm not going to be able to get them off. They go in just like they are. Same thing. All these will. This one here, I can get some of it off. These probably should have gone in a little longer, but that's okay. I'm getting some of it off. And this is also a step I would not skip. You've got to roast these peppers. They just bring out such a different flavor. Nothing good as easy, is it? This one. So we are literally going to blend all this stuff with a little bit of, well, we're going to do quite a bit of lime juice because I like lime juice. And it makes it taste good. Too much of the skin on there. And too much, I'm going to just do that whole thing. Okay, I'm going to put these on real quick before I go get the other one. Okay, I'll take this and go put it in. Okay, so I had a little bit difficult time removing the skin of the poblanos. The poblanos, I think, were old and they just didn't come out right. So remove some of the skin, a lot of the skin's still there. Might have a little bit of a bitter taste, but I think it'll be okay because roasted peppers are a thing, and I would remove them if I could, but I don't have time. Hatch chilies are in. I am going to cut a white onion and show you the peppers and how they look. Okay, so I'm going to remove, this is much better than the poblanos. The poblanos dried out. They just got too dry, so this is good. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect, especially since we're on a time crunch. These could have probably been in a little bit longer. Good enough. Put these on here. Good enough. Actually, those will probably be done well. Should have done those in a separate thing. In fact, why don't I do that? See? That'll be better. That way these get done sooner. And let's go do this now. Okay, so I think the jalapenos like this, I'm just going to throw in. Because see how the skin, they're roasted, but they're not where I want them to be, and there's no way I can take that skin off. So that's okay. I think what's more important is this skin. See how that skin is, it's like plastic, right? So that comes off. That's what I'm looking for. And we'll take what we can off. Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. It's all going to be tasty and good. We are almost ready to blend this up. And then I can go see my girlfriend, who should really be cooking with me since she is more a foodie and a chef than I am. I just like what I like and do what I do. And like I said, this is my show. Done with that part. All that yummy goodness, flavors. See, this is how the, you know, I mean, it's not like plastic, so it's okay, I think, but it's gonna definitely give a flavor and a color. Okay, so we're almost done. I'm gonna go get the Vitamix, and I'm gonna set it up here, and we're almost ready to go. I have the, I'm gonna need olive oil, and I'm gonna need some chicken broth, stock, or bone broth. I think I'll go with bone broth, and cilantro. So I think I will be back right after this. Okay, so all we're waiting for right now are the onions. As you can see, we have the blender set up. We have 3 bunches. Yeah, that's a lot of cilantro, but I like cilantro. We have a cheap squeezer, and we have these huge limes fresh from the lime tree. Yeah, those are good. So I'll cut those in half. We'll put some of that in here. We'll put olive oil in the soup. Actually, I mean in the mixture. I probably won't put it in here because it doesn't need to be blended. And then we have, this is still hot. It's warm. We have the roasted garlic. So that looks good, huh? Roasted garlic. And we'll put all that in a blender along with all our roasted yumminess here. And we will get on it. It's time to blend. So I'm going to get all the peppers out of that bowl, and I'm going to use that bowl to pour stuff in. You'll see what I'm doing. Everything's done. It's time to blend. Oh, that one had a seed. Usually they don't have seeds. Okay. Let's get the first batch going. Lid me. Here's the lid. Okay, so now I need to add cumin, and then I will pretty much be done. Kind of gives it another layer of taste. And finally, some bone broth. We are going to let this heat up and simmer, and then it is done. I'm going to end up putting this whole thing in. I'm going to bring this to a boil, let it simmer for 15 minutes, and then I'm going to let it cool down and put it away. And this is what it looks like. It looks like mush because it all broke down because it was so good. There's a couple chunks in there, but thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.